knee
Oh my
and
God,
drew
when
out
you were
fluid
awake?
3
Yes.
times. Yes.
Hey,
Oh my
Yes.
God.
I
No,
tore
would've
my
died.
ACL a year and a half ago.
How did you
And
do
so-
that? You play sports?
Playing basketball. I play all sports.
I didn't know
love
you were
sports.
athletic.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't know. I just
Well,
thought you were a
hey,
lying car salesman.
Well, I do.
I didn't think you like did
How do
stuff.
you think I wait on some people at once? I'm sprinting, jumping over cars, practicing lies in my head as I'm running, crunching numbers. I do it all. No, I was playing basketball. And the funny thing is, like, we play basketball all the time. Me and a bunch of kids I went to high school with. And so, my younger brother, I say younger, I say little too, but he's like 19. So we're actually very similar, the same age. And he's finally gotten big enough where we can play sports one-on-one. And so we play ball all the time. And one day he's like, let's go play ball at church, one-on-one. Because we're super competitive. I'm like, no, shut up, whatever, I ain't playing with you. I'm going to go hang out with my girlfriend, Kennedy. I'm like, hang out with Kennedy. He's like, oh, you're a chicken. Well, he's like, call me a chicken. Oh, okay. Like, and it was just so stupid. Played so many sports my whole life. And just, he shoots a three-point shot. Ball rebounds off the back of the rim. I run in, jump, come back down.
Landed
And then,
wrong.
I don't know what, I just come back down, and it was just like I'm assuming that somehow stressed it earlier in life. Or something,
Yeah,
because all of a sudden it was just like, I'm on the ground, and oh, it hurt. It hurt.
Did he call you chickens? I probably would have.
No,
Did you
so,
hear-
so at first he's not sure. He's like laughing because I'm laying on the ground. And then all of a sudden it kind of gets really serious after a while, like the seriousness on my face, me laying there that, okay, something's happened. And actually it's stupid. So I go to the doctor. I have it on Saturday night, so I go to the Murray Primary
Care.
Clinic Sunday morning. Because they're the only place where they open on Sunday besides the ER or whatever. So we go there, and the doctor there says, I'm going to stick this big needle in your knee. And I swear when he did it, he touched like bone. I know he did.
Oh, I
it
swear
hurt
you-
so
oh, my
bad.
God.
He's just in there digging around. I'm like, well, of course. And he said, if I draw blood, you've probably torn your ACL. If I don't, then you just bruised it, twisted it, whatever. Bleed blood. I was like, oh my God, I tore my ACL. So he's like, all right, I'm going to give you an send you to an orthopedic doctor / surgeon. They'll look at it, and then you'll do whatever. So I go there, and by the time I actually could get in the orthopedic doctor, it'd been like 2 weeks, and a lot of my swelling had gone down. When I see the doctor, he's like, you don't have a torn ACL. He said, your knees, he's like, people tear their ACL, their knees are the size of pumpkins, and he kind of moves it and pushes it, and it's still sore. He's like, we'll get an MRI, but I think it's just a bone contusion. And so, like, give me an MRI. He's like, oh yeah, it's just a bone contusion. So he said, just kind of go back and do whatever. So I got back to working out, and I lifted, and I did like lightweight squats on it. And I ran even, and it was like, okay. And so 2 weeks, so almost a month has gone since the first time I heard it, and so we're back in the gym playing ball. Not me and my brother, but this time a group of guys, and I make about 3 times back and forth on the court, and one time just running back. And all of a sudden, I'm just out on the floor again.
I just imagine you running like skinny.
I bet you had the first time you had a partially torn
Yes,
ACL.
you're correct.
I knew it from the instant what you told me.
You're correct.
That was me.
You're
Is that right?
Yeah.
I was actually no, it was not me. The doctor, I went here, and he told me I had a partially torn ACL and a fully torn meniscus. So
I actually didn't damage
the next,
my
like,
meniscus, though.
the day after I tore it, thought I tore it, I couldn't run at all. So I tried twice. I could not run at all. And then after I went, when did I go home? For Thanksgiving break that year, I went home, went to the doctor up north, and he took one look at me and said, you have a torn ACL. Didn't even look at the MRI or anything. I was
I
like,
just knew. Huh?
Forget that. I would just die if they had to stick that giant needle in my leg. Nope.
I
I would
think-
just
I
die.
think-
I saw it from the
Yeah,
moment
oh,
the
it's-
nurse took it
It's
out of
even
the
really
cabinet.
thick looking.
And I'm like, I just assume not look when they're doing
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Well, no,
I just
I lay down gritting my teeth because you really felt like he was just digging a needle inside your, what he
Oh,
is.
wow.
But
I have
thought
a
it was
sister-in-law
traumatizing.
that is
Blood
just scared to death of needles, and
Yeah.
like they went to give her an IV, and they about have to knock her out to give
Wow.
her an IV.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's me.
yeah.
That's me. Every
See,
time.
and
You're
I'm
the
like,
person that goes to the dentist and has them knock you out to get to do a
my
different work.
my husband
not
does that.
kidding.
Really?
Yeah.
I
He's like,
I actually do hate going to the dentist,
I
though.
pay big
'cause
bucks for that.
That's like the most terrible 30 minutes of your life. Like, you have your mouth held wide open and your jaws start hurting.
Yes.
And it's just,
I
can we
hate
get
that
this
part.
over
Why
with?
are you freaks awake during this? You know they make medicine to knock you out.
Because it costs some old money.
all right, I suppose we probably better
Okay,
move
sorry.
through
Oh,
move through the project here.
If you say so.
All right, so I'm just going to kind of read and grade as we go. That way you can kind of. So the goal of the Business Express line is to make more money while creating more efficient and effective ways to reduce the students' time waiting in line. In the goal.
Oh, sorry. That's it.
Alex's goal was to increase efficiency to get their products out quicker and effectively. So, in order to make more money, right?
Yeah.
And Alex and Lisa Winchester's Business Express goal, Alex and Lisa Winchester's Business Express goal is similar to that. The business is similar maybe in that the Business Express is seeking to have the flow unit, the customer get through the line quicker, and to seek more efficient ways to make money. Lisa Winchester, who's the Business Express manager, Lisa Winchester's main concern is the time to sign a credit card sale receipt. As the sale continues, it is another concern, maybe just
it is a concern.
Yeah, or another concern is the way of how customers put away their things right in front of the cash register, causing longer waiting times behind them. With the customers putting their payments away, maybe it poses a concern for how long the other customers are waiting to pay for their items. The boundaries of the process are, so the boundaries are, so you probably need to just a little grammar stuff here. The boundaries are when the customer enters the line and when they leave after they pay for their items. Okay, so in the current process map, we have, here's my question. This 25, that's 25 people entering the process per hour. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's not your inventory. Okay, because the inventory is actually just a snapshot of how many people on average are standing there waiting in line. Okay?
So just throughput is 25?
So just your throughput is 25. Okay? And so you've converted your throughput to 0.41667 per minute. I'm assuming you did that by taking 25 people per hour times...
That's wrong calculations. I just realized that, I think.
1 hour per... okay.
I think I messed it up.
Well, let's just take a quick peek here. So if I were going to say 25 people per hour, and I wanted to get that per minute, I was just write it out. So I've got people per hour, and I want to change hour to minute. So I'm going to divide 25 by 60, and that's going to give me 0.4167 people per minute.
I think that column's right. I'm just saying the last column I think I messed up on.
Okay, and so then the flow time then is how long each person is in the process. Okay, so this won't be right because this isn't right. Okay, and so typically what happens is when you have a buffer, you're taking that snapshot of, and you're counting how many people are actually, and you're going to take the average. So you're going to take maybe 10 or 15 samples, and you're going to say that's how many people are waiting at that point in the process. That's typically how we get the information about how many people are waiting at a buffer. And then when you do that, then you calculate basically the flow time at each of the buffers. Okay, so that's what you're calculating is based on. So again, how did you get 5 people for buffer 2?
I looked, when we were looking at some, like, beginning, I took a video of the process, some of the process, and that's how I got some of these numbers.
Okay, so was it more than one sample that you took, or was it just one sample?
It was like one video.
Okay.
And then that's how, like, I paused it and played it a bunch of times.
So when you paused it and played it, did you get like, okay, well, this time there were 4, this time there were 6, this time there were 5, and so now I have an average of 5? Okay, what you probably need to do is just make a little Excel table that has those samples data points in it. Okay, so because that's how I need to know where those numbers come from.
Oh, do you want me to like?
Basically, she wants to type out the different samples that we used.
So because you would have taken how many? Because I need to know how many observations you took and what time of day you took them.
What's the optimal observation?
Yeah, like, what would you like?
What would you like to see? How many different snapshots?
I would say at a minimum, probably, 10 to 15. Okay. And you could do it like every 2 minutes, right? And I would suggest for your team that you try to do it during that peak time, because really that's when it means the most to them, right? If you do it at 8 o'clock in the morning, you're going to get 0, 0, 0, 0 probably, right? Or I don't know, maybe there are more people coming in at 8 than what I think. But that's how you're going to want to collect that data, is take that snapshot. And so all of those buffers that you have at that, maybe every 2 minutes, you're just going to go, yep, that's how many. And maybe you want to divide and conquer, and you want to watch one, you want to watch one, and you want to watch one, but that's what you're going to need to do in order to show me some some meat to your statistics. Okay.
You just want to know where we got our numbers from. So
right. And because again, we're trying to give Business Express a valid, and we want to show them here's where our numbers came from and here's the assumption that we have behind them. So like as an example, when you present to Business Express, what you're going to say is something along the lines of, well, we took an average of 15 samples and, during that time, there were this many people in the process is how you're going to work your way through that. Okay. So again, at each of the buffers, you're counting, and at each of the activities, which I think you may have already done, you're actually timing, right? But again, you're going to want to have a number of observations there. So, how did you get the 0.36? Did you take, again, that 10 or 15 observations is probably what you want to do to make sure that you've got legitimacy behind those numbers, okay? But your table is looking 100 times better. I think, I don't know if I wasn't as clear about making sure the format that I wanted you to use, but I know that we got that across last week. I can tell a difference already. I mean, I was like...
Yeah, I was confused on how you wanted it all together, and then you said it. So
yeah, so that sample project was available for that, okay? So the other thing is then as they come through here, so they're going to get in line, and I'm going to just take out that 25 there because that's not, and they're going to pick their dry food, and then they're going to wait, and then they're going to pick their cold drinks, and they're going to wait, and they're going to pick their cold food because they're those coolers that they have to kind of go through, okay? Mm-hmm. And then they're going to wait, and behind the counter items, coffee, soup, etc., or decide not to and go this way, and then check out, pay with cash or flex dollars, pay with credit card. Yeah, I'm curious about why they think that we have to sign them. Because, like, how many other places do we go that we don't have to sign them?
Yeah, some places don't, some places that do.
And to me, I mean, waste of my time. I was down there today and signing, and I'm like, okay. But they may have other reasons why, security-wise.
I'm sure it's a liability thing.
Yeah, but it's a liability problem.
But my thing is, like, I can think of times, like, I use my uncle's credit card, I use a business credit, I use other people's credit cards, and they actually assign them, and I just scribble something. No one ever, they don't say, oh, sir,
can I see your ID with that?
You didn't spell his name right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I most time do the first letter of the person's name, and then a nice little
line. Kind of scrawl after that.
Yeah.
So the only question that I would have is that when we get here, so this 215, 310, 415, 520, is that going to be these different choices of dry food, cold drinks, cold food? Do you see what I'm looking at?
Again, I think that's just... How did I do that? Because I came up with those numbers. Are those the times?
I think they were the times here.
Yeah, I think that's those. Is that not what I was supposed to put?
No, I think you're fine. I don't know that you have to put, I can't remember if I required you to put the times on the precedence diagrams. I don't think so.
Oh, I might have done that because that's just how the book set it up or how some of our notes set it up.
Okay.
If we don't have to put them, I'll take them out.
Well, the thing that I'm looking at is that with your precedence diagram, here's the challenge that you're going to have in collecting the data. So when you go to collect your data, you're going to need, and I think this is going to be the largest challenge for your project, you're going to need to find some type of accurate representation about how many customers go through each of those segments, right? Because not 100% of the customers do each one of those things, right? So you have to divide the 25 throughput out by the percentage of what processes they go through to get your flow time accurate, okay? So you know that everybody's going to start out 25 per hour, okay? Of those 25 per hour, only a certain percentage of them are going to get dry storage. So it's not going to be 25 per hour. It's going to be whatever percentage gets dry storage. And it's not going to be 25 per hour getting a cold drink. It's going to be whatever percentage. And so you might want to talk to Lisa and ask her for data, okay? If she can get you data by customer purchase during a peak time, maybe over a couple of days. And then I don't mind helping you analyze that data, but I think that that's something that is in order, again, for your project to have meat, you're going to need to have that data. And maybe that's something that would be a good thing if you can get that data. Maybe Brianna could help you analyze that data and come back with some percentages if we're able to get it from Lisa. If we're not able to get it from Lisa statistically in some kind of digital form, right, then you're just going to have to take during those observations, and probably do more observations so that you can get an accurate percentage of how many students are actually going to each of those areas. I would hope they've got that data and that they would be willing to share it with us. So if you ask and the answer is no, come see me, and then I might ask someplace else. Okay? But I'm hopeful that they've got it. And the thing is, Lisa may just be busy enough, may not have access to it easily, so it might take a little bit to get that from her. Okay? Your flow timetable looks great. The only thing is those flow times will be adjusted because you're going to adjust them by the percentage of people that go through them, so that'll give you your actual theoretical flow time for a customer. Okay? Because right now your theoretical flow time is going to be the 175, right?
No, I'm pretty sure that's just all of it. I think the...
Your theoretical flow time should be the actual time that it takes for people if they just did the activities divided by the time for the activities and the waiting time, right? That's how. So it's going to be that percentage. That's going to be your efficiency. Okay. So your theoretical flow time is going to come from this table. It's going to be in a perfect world and they just had to do the activities. That's what they do. But the only thing is your flow times here have to be updated based on the percentages, because you wouldn't say if only 10% go through the pick cold food storage, then you'd multiply that by 10% to get the adjusted flow time. And maybe in this table what you want to do is give the activity time, the percentage, and then do the calculation that says the adjusted flow time. Your critical path looks to me like, why did I think that it looked different before? Because somebody could actually, I thought you had arrows that could go from 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 and then on to 7. Because isn't it possible that someone could go through every one of those activities? Yes. So you want to show arrows that way, and then that becomes the critical path.
Did we not have arrows?
I thought you did at one point.
I copied it from... Because I had to redo it because it wouldn't copy from Excel to Word for some reason.
I thought I put arrows, but maybe I deleted them because I thought I was wrong.
So the only thing I would say here is just put those arrows come down here, and then this critical path becomes that customer that picks every single thing, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9.
Yeah, and then the only thing that is going to change is 8 or 9,
1 through
and that's
7,
whichever
and then
one.
it would go to 9 because 9 is
right. That's
currently
the.
Oh yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And I know it could be a little bit challenging because I think Amber told me she's already started changing some stuff down there. Is that right?
Yeah.
So.
Oh, changing
the layout.
Okay. She moved soups and stuff.
Well, the doctor. Hey, quit that.
Well, what you could do is ask her to move it back for a day because it's pretty portable, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe she could move it back for a day for you to. Because I mean, really, we didn't want her to make those changes until we.
Hey, we didn't tell you to.
Yeah, that's the tone you want to use too. Look, I don't know who you think you are. But
I don't know how long you've been managing this place, but it's obvious that you need to wait for me, who has right now a C in the class, to tell you how to do it.
That's right. That's right. Okay.
But Amber and Lauren have an A, so you can listen to them too.
I was trying to
sure
decide.
Wow, dummy.
Get in line.
Wait, how are we doing these arrows again?
They're going 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 all the way down. Going over from 2 to 3.
Because that is an option.
And 3 to 4 and 4 to 5. And 5
oh,
to 6.
from like right here.
Yeah, because that could be an option.
Okay. I was getting confused.
We just need a few more arrows.
Okay, so the only thing that I'm seeing then in terms of, I've got your value added or non-value added. I think, Amber, we talked a little bit about there's probably another category of necessary but not value added.
Oh, yeah. And
I would say that paying is definitely a necessary but not value added. I'm trying to decide in your process if actually picking the product is value added. I have mixed feelings about that.
So then what would be value added if we took out picking out the product?
That's what I'm trying to decide.
Because it would just be checkout.
Because that's when the transition of the money for the service actually occurs. Because picking it doesn't actually transform the product in any way, shape, or form. So I'm thinking that all that picking stuff is necessary but not value added. right?
Add it until you actually makes you money.
Until you say, okay, here's the money for that. And so then the only other thing that I notice is that you don't have the 4G, which is the levers for managing theoretical flow time. So you need to go to the back of Chapter 4 and pick out those levers. Actually, and then another place is go to that sample project, and they'll have them listed in there. And you can use those and kind of look for the examples in terms of what I've noticed is the feedback that I've had to give is be specific. So, for example, if I were going to look those up real quick. So, on page 91, the first one is moving work off the critical path, right? So if you've got something that can be done, and it seems like maybe you guys have already been working with her a little bit on that. Nah, that's not really moving it off the critical path because they still have to go through it. But if there's something that is done, like if in some way that they could pack up or they could not sign that receipt right in front of that cashier so that the next person can't go through.
People have the option to pack up not in the way. People
Right.
just choose to pack up in the way.
Right.
Because they have bags like, right over here. You just step to the side, everybody else can check out, and you put your stuff in a bag.
When you hire some
people
really
just
big,
stand there.
really big football player for like a week to just stand there.
Move along.
Yeah, just
No.
Picks people up, moves them, rough them up a little bit.
Reduce non-value adding activities. If there's some way that you can reduce the amount of time and that's what I think you've been working on, is reducing the amount of time that it takes them to pick some of this stuff by changing that layout, right? Reduce the amount of rework. Do you have anybody that has to go back? Like if you and I had caught the fact that we had not, I was going to say crappy cream cheese, but not the cream cheese that we wanted, that would be rework, right? I'd have to go back and get it. So if you notice, when you're doing your observations, see if anybody has to go back and change anything out or do anything different.
Doesn't have enough, maybe you're showing up and you're trying to pay cash, and you have enough cash, and because some people don't have, I guess, credit cards, so that would be another example of someone having to go back and you have to place your items back.
And then modify the product mix. I don't know. Sometimes you might you read through that description. This is on page 92. Read through those descriptions. And if there's something that you can apply, be specific about what it is. If there isn't anything that fits, you just say, look, we thought this through for our project. We don't see a good tie-in here. Okay, but you need to address each one. Increase the speed of operations. And again, that's what we're doing with increasing that pick time. Okay, so just be specific with those. And you're going to have those at the end of each of these chapters. So these levers for managing flow time, levers for managing throughput, so we want to make sure that we're specific with how we're going to deal with that. With those changes, and it makes it sound easy, the hard part is you got to go back and get the data, right? That's the hard part. And so you're going to have to do the observations, and you're going to have to get with Lisa and see if you can get the data. Okay, and I would say I would not go forward with Chapter 5 until we're good with that data. And I'd really like to see you do that this week, okay? Because otherwise, we really should be moving into Chapter 8, and we still have Chapter 5 to hit and Chapter 8 to hit on your project, okay? And once you get that, I think the rest of it will start to flow for you much better. But it's just going to be diving in and getting that data.
I feel like this nice little talk helped.
Good.
More than the comments like when you grade it, you're like, good afternoon, I noticed some problems. And I'm like, that's helpful.
Yeah.
I can see you noticed the problems.
Do you see all the comments in the grading rubric? Did you see those?
No.
Okay.
That's probably why your comments are useless.
Like I saw them too late. That's how.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, like I would see, I would try to look through it, and I couldn't find it for like a couple days, and then I'd think of some odd thought, and I'm like, oh, it's in the rubric thing.
So, see, that's good feedback from me because I thought for some reason that was very apparent to you that that's where I was putting the comments. So that's a lesson
I just thought you were
for
saying,
me.
hey, congratulations, you screwed up. Here's your grade. You got some problems.
Hey,
No, actually, I was pretty detailed with the feedback. So
yeah, you were. Congratulations, I didn't see it.
Yeah. So, again, what is it? We learn in like that beginning communication class. It's really not communication unless there's assurance that you've received it. Yeah. So anyway, that's where I've tried to put in that very specific feedback if we don't meet like this. So I probably won't go in and put it in tonight because you all have had this, and then Brianna can come online and watch this. So
record this for everybody to watch.
Yeah, well, it's just at the end of our it's at the end of our lecture, so they got to hear all of our conversations about knees and everything.
People might care. Like, they've never met me, but they care.
People probably think you're a fool.
And then I would appreciate if maybe you would maybe do a group message to Brianna and just let her know that this is out. So maybe just from the three, like an email from the three of you to her, and that once you
watch the last 30 minutes of class, if you're not watching the rest of it. Which
Right, and make sure that she gets to this part, and then I would encourage you to maybe let her know that when we get the data from Lisa, that might be something that we're going to be asking her to help us sort, and then I'll be glad to work with her on that as well. Okay?
Deal.
So, all right. So I'm sorry that you thought I just went.
I just thought you were like, hey, good afternoon. You got some problems.
You have problems. And you should say yes. Yes, I do.
Yeah, I can see that from my grade. Thank you.
Oh, shoot. Too funny.
Yeah, I didn't realize that you were uploading a rubric. I really just thought you were saying you had problems with the project.
Nope.
You figured it out?
Yeah, figured it out.
I try to be more helpful than that. All right, I guess we can stop recording.